Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're looking at a four-wheel drive Toyota Hiace minivan. This one with a 3-liter turbo diesel engine with automatic transmission. This one's going over to the USA under the 25-year rule. It's a 1995 model with 152,000 kilometers on it. Condition of this one is quite, just to switch the engine off, quite middle of the road compared to what we'll typically see. Now, we've exported tons of these Hiaces, probably maybe around 100 of them or maybe even more. And they come in all sorts of conditions. Here's the auction inspection sheet. This one's got rust around the back. These tend to be rusty, and I think this is a good video to watch if you're interested in buying one of these, but you're a little bit afraid of rust. So I'll translate this auction inspection sheet for you now. It's a 1995 Hiace Super Custom 4-wheel drive. It's an auction grade 3.5, and both interior and exterior grades are C. 152,349 kilometers at the time of auction. Automatic transmission, AC, power steering, power windows. Okay, the report here from the auction inspector says windshield rock chip. It's actually a little bit more than a rock chip. I would consider it a crack. It's right here. And it might be a little bit difficult to focus on that because it's catching the reflection there. Okay. Also, we have interior has been yellowed, which tends to happen when the vehicle is smoked in heavily. Now, it's probably a good idea to get an extractor out and extract the interior fabrics and everything, but it doesn't smell heavily of cigarettes for this one. Interior is dirty, cigarette burn, and it's a mild one on the driver's side door, and interior wear. The body has various scratches, dents, and paint fade. Actually, the roof has a lot of paint fade on it. Electric folding mirror doesn't work. The passenger side one does work. The driver's side one doesn't work. Dashboard has screw holes. There are 4 of them. I'll show you when we get to the interior. Underside surface rust. Aftermarket wheels have corrosion on them. Winter tires. Headrest ×1 is missing. Okay, and then the body here has A2, W2, peeling over here in W2. Also S2 is some corrosion or some rust. Peeling paint on the roof here. And then A3 on the back bumper with a hole over here. Okay. So I'll do it once around. I'd say that the corrosion is probably a little bit worse than I was expecting on that sheet. There's a little bit more in the typical spots for a Hiace. And Hiaces tend to rust in the same locations all the time, and I'll show you where they are. You get it underneath this rail here, at the base of the window here, and then in all of the, you get it right here, 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 and then on the under panel there. Now the underside of this one looks pretty clean. This one has rust, in one of the other common places right here. So it has corrosion there, it has corrosion there, and on the other side in the same location, and then some at the top of the hatch. Okay, the decals on the side, they're peeling, and that's another very common thing. I think 9.5 out of 10 of them are going to have that, or 95%. If you like percentages. I'll come back and I'll show you the corrosion on it in just a sec. You might be able to see some of it already. This one has the triple moonroof and all the cool interior options, and so we're a little bit lucky. The Super Custom Limited is the top of the line version, but there are optional extras. And this one has one thing on the interior that I've never seen before on a Hiace, which is very cool. It's an official Toyota TV tray, or like, you know, in an airplane they have those trays that fold down. They have those, and it's not attached to the seat, it's attached to the headrest, and so you could put it into a different vehicle if you wanted, but very cool that Toyota made those. I never even knew. Okay, we've done the once around, so let's take a look at damages. This one has sonar, which for a 25-year-old vehicle is pretty outstanding. And it's got 4 of them, and many of them are busted, but they still seem to work, except for the back left one, which is missing. Front face has a number of rock chips in here. And these are prone to rusting right around here. This one doesn't have that. Okay, so a lot of rock chips have been touched up with touch-up paint here. And there's fade on the top of this part here, as well as some more rock chips and some fade on this bumper. Okay. Now the bumper has a scrape there. The auction sheet called this an A2. I would consider this more like an A3. Okay, going down here you can see the decal is damaged, and as you go further down it's much more damaged. Lots of fade on the mirror here. I'm going to climb up onto the roof using the tire. You can see the massive fade and or peeling up here, and you can see the moon roofs. That one tilts, this one slides, and this one tilts, and they're full glass so you can see through, making this one of the coolest minivans. They're well made, they drive lovely, and rust, I guess, is one of the only problems, and leaky fuel pumps. This one seems to be okay. So there's some of the corrosion. Here's another spot of it. None of it down there, which is good. None of it underneath there. Go down here. This one is okay, but on the other side it's a little bit weak. I actually said earlier in the video it's down here, but on the other side it's down there. And I was thinking in my head 2 of them on this side. Yep. Okay. The sonar's missing. That's the hole they were talking about. Here's the scratches. Now the corrosion on the back, they said it's S2. Let me just show you what we got here. I'll zoom in a bit so you can see it better. There's this one. Some bubbles here. Some bubbles there with some corrosion breaking through the bubbles. There's this. Okay. Looks like this is a repair from some corrosion at some point. Kind of a weird thing to see on there. And then if you go up, there's lots of damage up there. Let me just... So, some corrosion and a scratch there. And a dent. Dent there. Some corrosion. I'm being watched by some kids in the park. Some corrosion and a dent there. Okay, and then you can see the peeling up there. And this one here is very cool. It'll open up like that. And then inside there you can see the cover part in there. Okay, so going down here, you can see some paint marks there. All right, the corrosion here. And, oh, I am losing it. I thought that this one was there. My brain needs to remember where the corrosion is on the car. I did look at this car for 45 minutes already. Whew. Okay, so the cigarette burn. Right here. Okay, it's a minor one. There's also wear on the door card there, and if you touch it, you can feel it dips down a bit there. Okay, power windows on the fronts. Then there's a cigarette burn on the seat. Actually, 2 areas of cigarette burns on the seat. Okay. Now you can get these with a power seat for the driver only. This one has the power, the mechanical or manual seat. Manual tilt, which is good because the power tilts in these, just like the LS400s tend to break, or the Celsior as they're called here. This one has the analog gauges. Those are the less breakable version compared to the digital gauges, I suppose. Okay, it came with somebody's Red Bull. Like, it went through auction with a half-drank Red Bull in there. And I did not drink any of it, just to let you know. This is a hot and cool box. You can heat up drinks or cool them down using the AC or the heater. Very cool. Okay, here there's the controls. It also has an air purifier, an original one. Okay. The AC works. There's a stuck-on piece onto the dashboard there. You can get these with original Navi too, actually. There's the sonar. There's something called Joyful Talk. This one doesn't have it, which is an intercom system with the back. But it does have that hot and cool box, and it has a hot water boiling pot. There are the dashboard holes. So the hot water boiling pot is probably the coolest option that you can get in almost any car. You can make a tea if you want. And boil water, pour yourself a tea, and have a nice tea while you're driving around in your Toyota Hiace. Okay, so put that back up. Here's your hot water boiler pot. It has its own little lid. It's made by Zojirushi. Okay. Here's the Clean Ace. Also, here's the dump truck. No, it's a front-end loader / dump truck. Cool. And officially branded Toyota stuff. So, this is how it works. This opens up, and it's gross inside, but can be cleaned. And you got your little table. Or, if you want a cup holder, and you don't mind touching it, you have a cup holder. Now, this could be put onto any car, I suppose, because it's just attached up here. But it has its own little leveling thing. You can rotate this to put it at a different level if this seat is at a different type of recline. So you can continue to have a flat tabletop. Although it's not something I really want to have in my car, this has to be really rare. Of all the Hiaces I've seen, I've never seen one of these. And the fact that it's a real Toyota is really the only thing that gives it value. I bet you these are super rare, and it's one of those items that people just can't get their hands on if you wanted one. Sunroof here, huge, gives you an awful lot of light inside, and, oh, some damage to the carpet there. These seats can rotate around the other way if you want to point them backwards, and then tons of leg room, you can see, and the back seats here have been flipped forward in order to give you room for the tires that are in the back. The tires that are on here are 2008 winter tires, so probably time to change those on an aftermarket wheel, you can see. Okay. Look, it has a seat belt up here for your lap belt, or if you point it backwards, you can use just the lap, not the 3-point. Okay. Hiace done. So more rust than expected. Mechanically it looks good. And Hiaces are cool. Just cool. Okay, so that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, thank you so much, and have a nice day.